far is it now by boat to Vancouver?
800 miles.
How long does it take?
Oh, now the jet get in 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah,
Have you
2 hours.
fly?
Yes.
By boat?
I flew twice.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 90 miles from Key West.
So before the Spanish went there, who was there? There was
The Taino native.
what native?
Taino. Taino. They were the natives between Cuba all the way to Puerto Rico. And then the Caribbean were from St. Thomas, President St. Thomas, down to South America.
So predominantly now, who lives there? Spanish?
Spanish descendants. I'm originally from Puerto Rico.
I see.
So my DNA is about 70% between Spanish and Portuguese, 15% Native American, and 10% Black.
Interesting.
And
Right. So
that's typical of that.
today, though, there are a lot of African Americans there, but they're not
Oh.
called that. What are they called?
Cuban, Puerto Ricans, Dominican, Venezuelans,
But
Colombians.
they were brought there as slaves by the Spanish?
At the beginning, some of them were brought by. You have to understand it's very different slavery with Spain and slavery with Britain.
Yeah. I'm getting that.
Back then, most people lived and died within 10 to 15 miles of where they were born.
Okay.
There was no cars, no internet, nothing. So most people didn't know anything except what was around them. Spain is right across the Mediterranean Strait, straight into Gibraltar from Africa. So they were used to seeing people of other colors, other names. Plus, the Moors, dark-skinned people, attacked and invaded Spain for 700 years. They took over Spain for 700 years. And the Spanish were fighters, and they knew that these dark-skinned Africans were just as good as them. It took them 700 years to kick them out. They were just as good. So these people were just as good as them. Versus Great Britain, which is 3,000 miles away. They had never seen anybody who wasn't fair skinned, light eyes. So when they go to Africa, for the first time, and they see these dark skin, they think these are not people. These people are white. These are some kind of very intelligent gorilla. So the idea for the British is the Africans are animals just like a cow, a pig, a goat, a dog. Where in Spain, oh, these are people. They're just as good as we are. So the form of slavery was different. In Great Britain, America, the British level colonies, they were what's called chattel. It was another cow, another pig, another horse. Whereas in Spain, it was a human. It was very different. In Spain, you could not break up a slave family. You couldn't sell the kids off. In Great Britain, you could because it was like a dog. You had dogs, you had a dog, you sell puppies off. In Spain, these were human beings. Now, they were slaves not because they were black, but because they owed money. It was what we know as indentured servitude. So they were white slaves, they were black slaves, they were slaves of all colors.
And they could get out of it.
Yes, they could buy their way out. They could sue their owner in court. They could petition the king and queen. Their marriages were legally recognized as a legal marriage because they were humans, just like any other human, versus the British idea of chattel slavery, which they were proper like a horse or a cow or a pig. It was just another animal, very smart one. And in the late 1600s, a group of black slaves from the British colonies in South Carolina, which is today South Carolina, escaped, came down to St. Augustine. They escaped, came here, and they petitioned the governor, saying they wanted to live here because they wanted to become part of the true religion, Catholicism, not Protestant. Governor didn't know what to do with them because, wait a second, we're supposed to be getting the Catholic religion everywhere. These people want to be Catholic, but they're runaway slaves. I don't want to anger the British up north. So he doesn't know what to do with them. The governor of South Carolina said, you got to send us our slaves back. But he can't. So he petitions the king and says, what do I do with these people? What do I do with them? What do I do with them? I don't want to anger the British, but they want to be Catholics. Well, the king at the time said, he was very religious, said, okay, they want to be Catholics. So, plus, he realized, hey, this is a good deal. So So what he does is any slave runs away and comes to any Spanish territory worldwide and decides to become Catholic, becomes a free man in Spain. Period. 1690s, he frees all slaves based on race. And his idea is, yes, they want to be Catholics. They come over to Catholic. They have to become Catholics and they have to serve in the army. The men have to serve the army. Now, one of his other reasons is he was hoping to drain off, once the word got to the plantations in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, the other slaves would start running away and it'll collapse the plantation economy.
Yeah.
He was induced. And waves of runaway slaves start showing up here in St. Augustine, running away by the hundreds. Because when they came to Spain, St. Augustine, they were right across the St. Mary's River. They were free. There are records of runaway slaves from as far north as New Jersey making it here to St. Augustine for their freedom. Now, when this starts happening, obviously, there's a lot more friction between Great Britain and Spain. So the governor here in Florida at the time realizes we have a golden right here. So just like any group of people, you want to have your own little community. You want to have your own area. So the runaway slaves who are living here, they have houses, they have businesses, they have farms, they're free. They want their own community. So the governor says, okay, I'm going to give you a plot of land 2 miles north of here. And you can build your own community. And he establishes what's called Santa Teresa de la Moselle, known as today as Fort Moselle, about 2 miles north of here. It's a free black community, the first free black community anywhere in North America. Now those people, they're living there. When they come into St. Augustine all the time, they have houses here. They have businesses. They're back and forth just like nothing. It's about 2 miles north of here. But the governor also did that for a second reason. Said, wanted to be nice. The only way to get to St. Augustine was by land from the north down south. And to get to St. Augustine, they had to go by that fort. And who better to defend St. Augustine than a group of runaway slaves who didn't want to go back to slavery? So he put them out there as the first line of defense. And in 1740, it's exactly what happened. When the British attacked, they held them off there long enough that St. Augustine was ready. And then later on, after the first attack, the British took over Fort Moselle, the militia went back and wiped out the British. Fort Moselle called the Battle of Bloody Moselle.
And they won.
Yes, they did. But in 1763, when this became British, the peace treaty, all the Spanish, all the natives, and all the blacks abandoned St. Augustine and went to Cuba. Only 3 families stayed in St. Augustine.
So were there any intermarriages between African Americans and Hispanics?
25% of all recorded marriages was mixed in here in St. Augustine from the very beginning. Between Spanish, Native Americans, and blacks. That's recorded in the Catholic Church. 25% of them were mixed. This is also the place where the very first free public school was established, where it was open to girls and children of all races. In 1784, the very first free public school that girls could go to and kids of any race could go to.
Were the Native Americans also afforded that same freedom of intermarriage and so on?
25% of them. And that's documented in church records. From the very beginning, when Pedro Menendez gets here in 1565, it was a mixture of Spanish, Portuguese, Africans, some Irish, we know today Italians, Greeks, Turks, Moroccans. It was completely diverse, the very first settlement, from the very beginning. And the Spanish was always there.
And you just think it's because of their relationship with God, Catholics got the
Yes, but they were right across the Strait of Gibraltar from Africa. They see these people day to day. They interact with them. They're humans just like they are, versus 3,000 miles away in Great Britain. They've never seen anything like this. And to them, it's just a very smart animal. Because humans are not like that, they're like me. Versus Spain, where these Africans, they'd been talking to them for thousands and thousands of years. And they attacked them. And they took over Spain for 700 years. They couldn't kick them out. They're just as smart, just as good, just as accurate. These humans are just as good as we are. Very different mentality. I cannot say that I can understand why the British thought that way. I don't agree with it, but I'm in a different era. But I can understand why their thought process was the way it was. Why it was so very different than the Spanish. They've never seen anything like this for thousands and thousands of years. So when they get to Africa and they see these very dark skinned things, they're just a super, super smart animal. It's like a smart pig, smart horse, smart cow, smart dog. Versus the Spanish, these are people. They've been kicking our butts for 700 years. They're just as good as we are, if not better. They have algebra. Look at most of the architecture that you see, the Spanish architecture. It's African. It's African. It's just molded. It's molded. It's Moorish. It's Moorish. Yes. Like that Moorish cave master. It's just molded. It's very, very different. Never try to impose your ideas and your thought process on what happened before. You have much more information, much more data, much more things. They don't. That's why I keep telling people, this is not my world, it's their world. Their world. There is them. What we knew doesn't exist anymore and will never, ever come back. Just like our grandparents, great-grandparents before. The world keeps moving on. If you ain't keeping up, you're falling behind. So it's very different what happened. And there were a lot of, we are a very simplistic society. We want one reason, one answer, one. Now it's normally a whole lot more complicated than that. A lot of different things. Religion, power, economics, politics, racism, all this mixed in.
Thank you so much.
Very, very different. Yeah, those are superb.
Well, I'm 50, and you're opening my eyes to things that in school, and I teach school. And no, but all of that doesn't, like, this is new. I am getting new information from you, and this experience that I didn't get in school or any of the other teaching ways that I'm done looking for it. This is new.
It's not new. It's always been new.
I know, but it'd be new to me. That's what I'm saying.
That's
It's new to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm thirsty because I feel like I'm getting a whole different aspect, a whole different drink of wine.
Like I said, we videotape these and we're putting them on the internet. I can't say whether this one is going to be the one that's going to be posted or the next one, the one that I make the least number of mistakes. That's the one I'm gonna put on. But if you're interested,
Yes, please.
there are like 3 or 4 other ones. On the bottom, there's the link to the YouTube. And if anybody else wants, yes, I got plenty of them.
But not always the Spanish in my country got black people as slaves
Yes.
for so many years.
Yes, but they were indentured servitude. They weren't actually chattel slavery. Very different.
Igual yo.
¿De dónde eres?
De Perú.
Yo soy de Puerto Rico.
Yes, estamos cerca.
Hey. So, but there is so much more on this. Like the reason why St. Augustine was so important was the treasure. It wasn't the people. Everybody was, the people, the king and queen, they wanted to protect the people.